in spite of all of this, we saw that mothers are depicted with those multiple hands, and there is that pressure, there is stress, and there is mother's guilt. But we see women moving forward. And what is it that keeps us going? So I like to call it the circle of motherhood, basically similar to the social circle that we talk about, right? So, and the reason it is a circle, not a square, not a rectangle, is because circle is what will enable the flow forward. So that's why it's the circle of motherhood. And what does this circle really contain? Let's take a look. Building a strong support system is the first element of the circle of motherhood. So what this really means is basically consciously, unconsciously, I think when we make the decision to start working or to get back into the race, there is the support system that we start looking for to ensure that we keep our family and kids safe while we are at work. Now, how do we do that? There are multiple options. For example, a daycare, or maybe we leverage the help of our parents, relatives, in-laws. Probably we look out for nanny services who can stay back at home while we are away at work. And then very importantly, also the neighbors and friends that we have who would step in at the time of need when we are not around. So these are basically a few things around how we build our support system, especially if I have to relate it to what I went through. I think at different stages, I tried to use, the different support system options that I had, depending on my child's age, depending on my requirement. I started off probably with my mother helping me manage my son. About a year from there, I moved on to taking nanny services so that I could move, I could take my mom off that responsibility and I could be more independent by myself. So I took the help of a nanny service. As my son grew, maybe up to 2 years, as he moved to a 2 or 3 years pace, is when I decided I can put him in daycare because I will have good support. There is enough of knowledge that he can get, he can socialize. So the point I'm trying to make here is in the circle, this support system building becomes very important, and we get to choose. Not everything not all the options are used at the same time, but I think we make a conscious decision depending on the need of the hour. The next piece is, of course, splitting responsibilities to manage chores, because household chores, family management is not an easy task. So what are the different options that we have here? Maybe hiring help externally, like maybe cook or someone to help with the household chores. Secondly, maybe we talk our spouses into helping us with our daily chores. We split the responsibility, spouses, family, and so on. So that's another angle, how we try to manage that side of things. And finally, if we don't have any of those options open, because not everybody could either be in a situation of taking a spouse help or financial, have that financial expense to have a cook or a house help, then probably it just goes down to planning it in such a way that we manage those household chores. The third one, and a very interesting one, because we are today in an era where technology is prevalent, and I think leveraging technology is something that has come to our advantage as a part of this circle of motherhood. So we know of surveillance cameras, we know GPS tracking that is available, and of course our regular cell phones, iPhones, iPads that we have, right? So how does this really help? Leveraging technology today is really a blessing, because most of the times the thought that the mother goes through while working in office is her child safe, right? I mean, a lot of the support system options that we spoke of probably might not be entirely reliable, right? We would like to know whether our child is doing fine, doing safe. Most of the daycares today have, surveillance cameras. They keep live streaming to ensure that you're aware what your child is doing. But otherwise, let's say, you have opted for a nanny service. So I think these surveillance cameras can be really helpful to give that peace of mind to the mother, where she can constantly check what's going on to ensure her child's safety. Now, if the child is slightly older, probably there's no nanny at home, but you could use a GPS tracking to ensure that your child is within that defined safe limit and is not going beyond the boundaries. And with that, assurance, you have that peace of mind. And of course, we are all aware of, today's kids are absolutely tech savvy. And of course, barring the infants and toddlers, I think, once the child is slightly into an independent age, our phones and so on just help us. So to me, technology becomes a very important part of the circle of motherhood, because it sort of gives us that assurance and helps us keep going, and it sort of makes us feel we are with them while we are away from them. The next part, very important part to me, is keeping exclusive family time. So for me, this becomes very important because I think, in all of this, if we need to really, like the mother's guilt that I was talking about, I think that becomes a very important point with, if we manage to keep an exclusive family time, even if it's just a 15-minute time with the kid. And that's what I always tell myself, that it's okay if I have an extremely busy schedule, I will spend a 15-minute time with my son on a daily basis, but I will give him my undivided attention. Yeah, complete attention, where he knows that while my mom is busy at work, she has not forgotten me, and I get all the love from her. So to me, this family time, and or maybe the time with the kid in those early phases and thereafter, becomes very important. And of course, I have a policy of no weekend working. I think that is the basic that I can do to my family, and I ensure I abide by that. And that's something that we try to inculcate in the family, so that we have that family time where we feel deeply rooted, deeply connected, and we move forward. So while these are those four pieces that I think is very, very important, and it helps us basically to keep us rolling, keep us moving forward. But if you see, in the center of it all is asking for help. What I have observed is a lot of us probably don't voice out when we need help. And I think it's extremely crucial that as a working mother, or even in general for anyone, but specific to this topic, it's important to call out for help, not just on the personal front, but even on the professional side. Because that is when probably we can solve some of the issues which we are probably just trying to manage all by ourselves. So this, I think, is the circle of motherhood. And as I had reflected on the topic, I realized that this has actually kept me moving forward. And had it not been for this circle, probably I wouldn't have progressed in my career to where I am today, and I wouldn't have enjoyed my journey, with my son as well. So with this, so we saw what keeps us going and so on, and I thought it was interesting to also bring up some of the myths about working mothers, and it is a good forum, I think, to bust some of these myths. And these are basically from what I have heard, experienced directly, and so on. So what are those? Moms are multi-handed. I would like to say that we just have the two hands, structurally nothing different. Depictions, yes, because of the current situations, but just to get the point right, we just have two hands. Women are born mothers? Absolutely not. It is a learning. And honestly speaking, today we are shouldering that responsibility, but not necessarily. I have seen men who have been absolutely great and have done a fabulous job at probably being mothers for their kids. Not too serious about work and career, not too reliable. We hear that. I mean, we could be in denial of it, but we do hear this because, I've personally seen, heard things where, probably something on a serious note, a project which is extremely crucial. Maybe we can keep the mother out of it. She will need to focus on her family and son. Maybe timelines would not, be met, and so on and so forth. No clue on finances. Well, I think I don't think I need to even say we have enough of women who have been in investment banking, leading finance industries, and so on. But we often get to hear that, oh, women maybe not too good at finances. Probably I should have also included driving, but yeah, I don't have it here. But yeah, and then lucky to get paid maternity leaves. I mean, I have myself heard this, but I would just like to say that I'm happy to trade, the maternity leaves with my spouse. I mean, I would have loved to be back at work rather than rocking my son and having those sleepless nights. Primary caregivers in today's scenario, Yes. But I think that's a shift that needs to happen, because I think the choice of who would be a primary caregiver should lie with the parents to decide who would be the primary caregiver for the child. Children of working moms turn out to be brats. Well, I've heard it, but honestly speaking, that is truly not the case. In fact, I have seen children of working moms to be as independent and as, loving and nice as probably a stay at home mom. Women are multitaskers. Well, this is a very interesting piece because, I think from the time I have joined the professional world, I have always heard this, that, anything, for a lot of things, hey, you are a woman, you definitely must be good at multitasking. So I would like to say that, I think it's a trait which can be with irrespective of the gender, multitasking, and not necessarily that women are multitaskers. We are probably forced to multitask in today's environment. But if you ask me, I'm absolutely not good at multitasking, and I'm a woman. So I would like to focus on one thing at a time, do it, give it my best. Like if I'm at work, I just can't think of family or my kid, and vice versa. So probably not very true that women are multitaskers.